It's the end of the day with Ray. Hello, my friends. Hey, today I want to discuss a Konica Minolta press release that was published yesterday. And folks, I found this particular press release out there on the internet under Global Newswire. And it's been copied and pasted in the Imaging Channel blog, and it's been copied and pasted inside the Industry Analyst blog. And I want to ask all the industry analysts a question, okay? Get ready. I'm asking you a question. It's a tough one. When the hell are you all going to start analyzing stuff? Or is copy and paste in press release really what you're all about? Because quite honestly, our industry is in the biggest disruption it's ever had in its history. We have more challenges facing us than ever before, and those challenges aren't going away. The transition time is now. It has to happen. It has to happen successfully. And our industry analysts out there, for the most part, all they're doing is copy and pasting stuff from OEMs. Copying and pasting a bunch of OEM press releases filled with a whole bunch of buzzwords. And the reality is, none of them are analyzing anything. And I think it's time our industry starts demanding more of our analysts. Just saying. So folks, this weekend, I put out an article on LinkedIn. And I talked about why I believe Konica Minolta doesn't get it regarding IT services and delivering broader services into the marketplace. And that analysis is my thoughts. And quite honestly, when you put together thoughts, they're thoughts. Those thoughts can be challenged. You know, I have no problem with people challenging my thoughts. What I have a problem is none of the other analysts in the entire industry want to even think about anything that might be a little bit controversial or something we should be talking about. But folks, I based this article off the integrated report that Konica published in June of 2021 and how they talked about the reduction in operating profit. And I challenge y'all to go read it. By the way, this thing's gone all over LinkedIn. 11,433 people were presented that article. 50 likes, 9 comments. It's getting around. I find it ironic that nobody from Konica wants to comment on it. No one from Konica wants to try to address any realities within this article or non-realities. They just let it ride. I did ask Konica they should publish a press release and explain what's going on in the marketplace. Maybe that's why they published the press release yesterday. Who knows? But folks, here's the reality. When I read this press release, I have the same kind of concerns I had when I read the integrated report. And I want to share those concerns with you today. Let me start out by saying this. Buzzwords must never replace directions. The ability to clearly define the reality is a byproduct of those who experience firsthand what the reality is. I want to read that again. The ability to clearly define the reality is a byproduct of those who experience firsthand what the reality is. If the leadership at Konica Minolta was experiencing firsthand the successes of their MIT deliverable, the successes of this DX model, the successes of transforming their end users from print to all these other services that they sell and support, they would be screaming about it from the top of the hills. They would be given details about it. They wouldn't need to use 1.5 million buzzwords to try to present something to make it sound good. They would actually be presenting what they're actually doing. And if it was successful, it would sound good to everybody, especially all the employees that might be concerned right now as Konica's making some major changes in the marketplace. But ladies and gentlemen, here's some of the changes that I'm hearing about. And if I'm wrong, Konica Minolta, please put in the comments, Ray, you're wrong. 25 market VPs down to 11. 25 market VPs down to 11. Putting Canada and the United States under the same management structure, sharing more synergies. One would ask, why didn't you do that 10 years ago? When they talked about bringing the United States and Canada together, they also talked about the fact that they already did that with their IT services company, IT Weapons out of Canada, and all covered out of the United States. They said in this press release they brought them together already. You would think it would have been a great opportunity for them to share a case study or a success story about how that togetherness is actually working. instead of just saying, we brought them together, it's going great. Ladies and gentlemen, I realize that in a press release, you're not going to give your business plan, okay? But I believe because Konica's had so many challenges, and they're being talked about a lot in the industry, they probably need to give more details of what's successful so that both their employees and their end users and the industry in general can learn from those successes or have some awareness on what might not be so successful. Ladies and gentlemen, here's the reality. Konica Minolta spent the last decade plus talking about how they're the leader in the space, how they're the leader in digital transformation, innovation. Their executives win awards after awards after awards. Konica posts more awards on their website than our friends over at the MPSA. If they were knocking it out of the park and they could substantiate where the hell the ball went, as I say, they would be doing it, and they're not. And right now, as they consolidate, as they eliminate positions of marketplace vice presidents, as they talk about building an e-commerce platform and inside sales reps, my concern is, what does that e-commerce platform with those inside sales reps look like? Folks, Konica and all of you in our industry are trying to put alternative services inside a footprint of overspeccing A3 equipment to end users on 5-year leases that are prematurely upgraded. That's our industry. And we're trying to put in digital transformation, IT services, security services. And without a real strategy, it's not going to work. And if you've been doing it successfully for a decade, you would be able to articulate that success without a whole bunch of buzzwords. That's my argument. That integrated report I read in 2021 didn't really have any teeth in it. You talk about what you're going to do, but you don't really talk about how you're going to do it. You don't even talk about the successes that you're already having with it. It's time to prove to the world that you really are the leader. It's time to prove to your employees that you really are the leader. And it's time for our analysts to start doing their own damn analysis. And quit thinking that copying and pasting is going to get you through. I'm going to continue to look for these copy and pasted press releases, not just from Konica, but from all the OEMs, and share my thoughts, my analysis. Keep in mind, my analysis, it might not be perfect. I don't expect it will be. But I'm not going to be afraid to share my thoughts. I'm not going to be afraid to get people to start having conversations that we all need to be having, just because someone might get upset. Folks, here's the reality. Everybody in our damn industry should be upset because our industry is in trouble. Now that we're all upset, let's figure out how to fix it. Now that we're all upset, let's figure out how we can talk about it in logical ways. Because everybody watching me knows this. Status quo is the killer of all that'll be invented. Don't get stuck in status quo, and I'll see you all tomorrow.